Ball back towards the black. Maybe covering each other now, the 5 reds, so he needs a few more colours, and if he can get to the pink, that will develop the reds. This is much better than taking the black on, but it must be tight. Can't see enough of the pink. Key shot coming up as to whether he clinches the opening frame here.
A very precisely played
64.
cannon. Just a red and a colour needed now to secure the opening frame.
65.
Well, what a start to this match that everyone has been eagerly awaiting.
$68.
Didn't intend the kiss, so he's not in his intended position.
$69.
But that red keeps him in pursuit of a century from his first scoring opportunity of the day.
73. $74.
He's made a few centuries in his career, hasn't he? By 574. Still quite a way behind the other super Scot, Stephen Hendry, who's a couple of 100 centuries ahead of him.
81.
736.
82.
Playing a lot of shots left-handed when he's no need to.
89. 90.
Just one mistake, and this was the result.
97. 98.
What an amazing start to this match here.
104. 106.
Just one mistake Higgins has made in this frame.
109.
He had a somewhat tricky red to the right middle, a cut, and he's been sitting in his chair ever since.
113. 118. 124.
1 chance, a total clearance of 131 from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
What a start. Now, yesterday in his press conference, O'Sullivan said, "When I can deliver the cue on a straight line, I relish any game." And he's certainly delivering his cue on a straight line today, left-handed and right-handed.
That was quite incredible. As you mentioned, Clive, Sean Higgins, he had a half chance. It wasn't an easy. He was worried about canning into the brown if he potted the red, so he was trying to avoid the brown. And he finished up, he just hit it a bit on the thick side. And I think that brown was just in his thoughts there, and that was it. Frame over.
Yes, with that type of shot, it seems to be easier with that type of cut if you hit it a little bit harder, going up thin against the nap. But he just played it just under medium pace, caught it too thick.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Just look at the average shot time, 12 seconds, so he wasn't hanging about with both hands. Oh, this is a bad mistake. And if it comes up past the blue, he's given Ronnie an easy opener. So John hasn't settled. He's one of the best tactical and safety players in the game, but he mishit that one badly.
1.
A couple of loose reds, but he may elect to stun into them here. And he's one of the best in the business at opening the reds from this type of position. Maybe not quite this time. Although this red may pass the blue up into the corner.
8.
It is. It'll be almost straight, I feel. Just slid off the side of the reds. You can see the side on the cue ball, but I think it does pass. If it doesn't pass the blue, you'll have to take it into the middle pocket. And if it won't pass the blue, but if it goes in the middle pocket, he can finish on the black. If he goes up the table along the line, he can finish on the black, you would feel. No, he could hold it for the blue, so he was okay. 9. Looked a little thinner than that, but much better to hold for the blue.
$14.
Hasn't had much of a run of the ball there.
Yeah, to be fair, he was trying to get the pink full ball there. Still unlucky to land on the red.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 14.
Wee bit careless, that one. If this red goes in the right corner, John will have a go at it because he could finish on the black. You can, in fact, he may be able to play back down the table just looking at that angle. So it was just a, what we call a shot to nothing there. Oh, this is a chance. He was hoping to leave the white tight on the cushion. There's a long straight red for John to have a go at. This would settle him down. See there, that's where a player gives himself options.
8.
It was a good long pot, but his positional shot was leaving him a choice of 2 reds, one to the middle or one to the corner.
9.
Gone a little bit too far there. There's only 1 red available. He was hoping to take the blue and cannon into the reds. A bit thin now. It's a much more difficult shot, and he's got to be careful he doesn't catch the reds and go in off to either corner pocket here. If he doesn't hit them full ball. He played it perfectly. What a shot! Couldn't
14.
have played that any better.
Yes, hit the apex ball in the bunch, flush on the nose.
perfect angle on the blue again, but in fact you can see that chalk mark. That's the last shot when he played that terrific blue. Left a little trail of chalk there. Still not going to be easy to score in this position. The pink and black are a little bit awkward.
20. One. $24. 25.
Yeah, the pink back on its spot will help with the black being near this back cushion. That was clever because he opened the 4 reds. He knew if he
31.
didn't finish on one, he was going to have the one to the right of the black. In fact, they've just covered each other, those 4 reds, but the way he was thinking there was absolutely spot on. Could still get to the potting angle to take one to the left corner. It would be so important for John if he could go on to score enough to take the second frame and show Ronnie just how well he's playing, because he made one mistake and, well, we've seen what Ronnie did. He cleared the table with 131.
$37. 38.
He gets the black back on its spot and doesn't have to do an awful lot with the cue ball.
When we talk about the snooker brain, we say he's got one of the best snooker brains in the game, and that's an example there. He's left that black and left the red there because he only just has to roll it in and he's on the red. If he had to force it in, it would be much more difficult to pot. Oh, as he pushed it, he put it away from the pocket.
Higgins, 38.
Oh, that was careless. That was a pretty straightforward pot from John. You can see there, you could straight away just overcut it.
Well, no way did anyone expect him to miss it, but he did have to play with a very long bridge because of the extra length on his cue.
And Ronnie's done the same. He's done the same the other side of the table. They usually cling to the cushion,
but that one was never in.
1.
No, he did exactly the same that John did the other side of the table with the black.
Eight. Nine.
two easy reds to come, so we won't have to bother about the other two in terms of clinching the frame.
15. 16.
Terrific stuff. John Higgins, the provisional world number one, playing the current world number one. Doesn't get any better than that, does it, Clive?
24.
When we say provisional world number one, that is based on last year's performances and the performances this season so far, because the official world rankings are based on 2 seasons' performances. And on that basis, Higgins is the official number 4.
John Higgins, 31, and frame.
So although John Higgins needed 2 bites at the cherry, contributions of 38 and 31 were enough for him to level the match at 1-all.
The third frame. John Higgins to break.
Yes, Steve, and I think it is a sprung floor here at the Kelvin Hall, and maybe that has a bearing on it. As you say, oh, look at this shot.
1.
And a pretty good kiss. But if they are pulling away slightly, the player will soon react to that. They will both know, because they both miss shots in either corner.
3. 4.
Well, he's brilliant right-handed, he's brilliant left-handed, and he's not too bad with the rest. Trying to find a weakness, Clive.
But he's notoriously
11.
self-critical about his own performances.
12.
Unless he's playing to his absolute best, he's very quick to put himself down, and he might put himself down a bit for that positional shot when he knows he should have been above the blue.
And that's a bit of a careless
Sullivan,
one.
12.
Okay, he's got the white near the cushion, but mind you, having said that, if he gets the snooker, it's easy to escape either side, so it's okay. He's just hoping now that John will knock one towards the left corner and maybe not get a good cue ball. But this looks to be a pretty good cue ball to me.
Yes, and he's got it over the awkward side as well. The right side is the open side. The left side is more congested.
the reds come up with the cue ball, hit it much too thick anyway. But it was just, I think, the disappointment of not getting on the blue. He got down and just played the green, and it was probably a little bit careless because he left that opening for John. It was still a very good shot that John played, but Ronnie did cause this for himself. He just underhit this by quite a way.
One.
Should still be all right, but would have preferred that the cue ball hadn't kissed the brown.
John Higgins, 1.
Well, we have talked about these new tables and the middle pockets being slightly tighter than the others, but yeah, I think the brown just seemed to jump a little bit and caught the near jaw of the pocket there. They are slightly sharper, I think, Clive.
Yes, and he was just off straight the wrong side there, trying to force back into good position.
Nothing to play behind over that side of the table. Brown up on the side cushion. Don't need any colour to play behind when you can judge the pace like that. But the brown I mentioned, John's just got to be careful he avoids that on the way back down the table here. Might have to go down the left side of the table. Well, it's a containing shot, as we call it. Not very much safety or tactical play in the two opening frames. We may get a little bit in this one, the way the balls have gone.
And just before the tournament, O'Sullivan rated Higgins the best tactical player he had ever played, superior even to Steve Davis, which is saying something.
Oh, that's a big call, isn't it? Yeah. You'd have to say that Ronnie knows what he's talking about. But it'll be a toss-up. Who is the better, Steve or John, in the tactical department? It's a bit careless, but now the blue has also been knocked into a safe position. But John can get on the black here. If he puts this in such a way, he can avoid the cannon on the brown and he can take himself off the cushion. Just, if he judges it correctly, he can just stun off the side cushion and leave himself on the black. In fact, he can reach it with his extension, so that's even better than the rest. Somewhere near the line would get him on the black. Well, he probably was concentrating a little bit more on the positional side there.
There again, though, he was playing with an extension on the cue, which in turn made his bridge longer. So that just made it a little more difficult than if he could have reached the shot with the cue at its normal length.
As I say, it's a Always nice to see the big breaks going in, but it's also nice to see two players like this having a tactical battle. It's like a game of chess with balls when it's like this. Well, that's opened the blue up, so that's helped the situation. And just while we're watching this little tactical battle, I've had a great day at Clive, up at 5:30 with Willie Thorne this morning, down to Royal Troon to play there. Met Colin Montgomery's dad, James, was in the clubhouse, and back, and here we are. They'll all be watching this match down at Royal Troon, so we had a great match there. Of course, Willie cost me a tenner. He played terrible.
Golfers tend to be snooker fans, and snooker players are forever wanting to play golf.
Well, Ian Woosnam, who was my best man when I got married, a very keen snooker player. Sam Torrance, 80, 90 break player. Lee Westwood looks like a professional snooker player when you see him play. A lot of the golfers used to play snooker when the weather was bad. They all had snooker tables in the golf clubs.
Wow. O'Sullivan won't like that. It was about three-quarter ball, and he hit it straight.
And all of a sudden, from going to be a tactical frame, that one poor shot has opened everything up. Just have a look at the table now.
O'Sullivan said yesterday, "I love playing, but I can't take getting frustrated." And nothing would frustrate him more than missing shots like that, which are well within his capability. A shot that he would reckon never to miss.
Didn't even get it in the jaws of the pockets, so that was a surprise. Now, where's this white going to finish? That's okay. Very important for John Higgins and his supporters that he capitalise is on that bad miss from Ronnie.
Eight. Blue ball.
Yeah, deserved a round of applause because he's perfectly on the red to get himself onto the black here.
14.
Of course, we mentioned about supporters from Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland. And there's three girls from the Ukraine and Latvia. They travel to the snooker, quite a few of the tournaments. And sometimes it takes them a couple of days to get here, Clive, and they really do love their snooker. And it's nice. Are they listening?
21.
Yeah, nice to see you here, girls.
Eastern Europe, one of the game's notable growth areas. John Higgins has been opening up contacts and indeed organising a couple of tournaments in Moscow.
30.
Doesn't have to play any cannons there. As he pots this red,
37.
it helps to free another one to the left of the pink. Well, in fact, the one next to the pink goes anyway.
38.
Could have screwed that back just a little bit more.
$44.
Just had a quick glance at the scoreboard, but quite a few needed yet, John.
$45.
The cannon on the pink with the last shot has made the red next to it less accessible than it was before.
$53.
Just potted that in the right side of the pocket. That's the reason the white hasn't come out and finished perfect on the black. He might have to use a cannon to hold the white. If he just rolls this in, he's going to run away from the reds. I don't know if he can play a cannon onto the... He can't play a cannon onto the pink, but he can possibly get the cannon onto the red. If he could cannon the pink, it would be better, but I don't know if that's on. Now he cannoned the red, and that was the problem. There wasn't quite
60.
enough angle to move the pink out of the way, and he was hoping to just push that red on for the middle pocket. Is he having a go at a double here?
Would have been
John
frame
Higgins,
ball
60.
had he got it. And thought that he had a good chance of not leaving it if it didn't go in, but it hit the far jaw and rebounded at that acute angle. Well, that looked terrible, that miss from O'Sullivan, but that red at first glance looked as if it was flush in the pocket. No, on the far jaw. Enough to leave O'Sullivan needing two snookers.
John Higgins 1 and the frame.
O'Sullivan concedes. Higgins leads by 2 frames to 1. And O'Sullivan went badly wrong in that frame. He'd only missed one ball until he missed a ball that surely he would pot 49 times out of 50.
And I suppose he was a little bit close to the cushion with his bridge hand there, but still he missed it by a long way. He didn't even get it in the jaws of the pocket, and this has been a good performance from John Higgins to virtually make one mistake and sit in his seat for the opening frame, but since that he's been looking good, and if this continues, Clive, what an afternoon we're in for here.
Well, yes, O'Sullivan has only missed 3 pots, but 2 of them have been shockers. And His total clearance of 131 in the opening frame is already receding into the memory.
Only wins one frame.
Thank you. Frame 4. Ronnie O'Sullivan to me.
There must be just a little fibre on the tip that's, when he gets down to the shot, you can see it on the end of the cue there. No problem with the tip.
O'Sullivan was pretty downbeat in his press conference yesterday. He said, I just keep turning up. If it clicks, happy days. And the way he played in the opening frame, it looked as if this was going to be a happy day, but he's not really fired since then.
That's careless. He'll have to get his act together again if he keeps making mistakes like this. He could be going to the mid-session interval 3-1 down. Shouldn't have been anywhere near that red on the side cushion. And if John can slot this red in, Ronnie knows only too well, he might even slip off the other red and finish on the black. It looks as if he will cannon the red to the left of the one he's taking on, and that might just put him onto the black. Well, it would have done had the red he cannon not travelled up and just covered the black. So he's had a bit of a reprieve there, Ronnie, for that poor safety shot. And now a problem for John because he can't play a baulk colour because of the red near the middle pocket.
Black ball. John Higgins 1.
Ronnie might just double that red back up the table, the one that's causing a bit of a problem. Having said that, John might have left him this red that's to the right of the black spot. And we know what Ronnie's like. If he gets half a chance, he'll take it on. If this goes in, he'll have a chance.
One.
He's smiling to himself and scratching his head. I think Ronnie thought he was going to be on the yellow or brown there, but the brown's not potable past the yellow, so he's going to have to take the thin blue. What a shot that is. Generous round of applause. The black was tied up. Look what's happened. That was superb. Yeah, it was a bit of a careless shot that John played. He didn't want to go up the baulk end of the table because of the red, and he just played off the black, and well, he should never have left that half chance for Ronnie.
Thank you. 7.
Has he got a bit of angle here? Because the black's
14.
only available into one corner pocket. I don't know whether he can get out onto the pink. Yeah, but he
50.
had to force it, and they can be missed when you hit them at that pace.
$21.
Yeah, the way this match is going,
22.
Clive, you don't really want to have a mid-session interval, do you? But we're going to have one after this frame.
If ever O'Sullivan isn't at his best,
28.
his close control is the very last thing to go, and therefore this is
29.
the sort of opportunity he needs to exploit, because he's made a few mistakes in the last two frames.
Starting to get a little bit more difficult now.
35.
There's only a couple more reds that are available, unless the one in the little triangle, the one to the left and just this side of the pink, if it's available, then he's okay. Oh, that's gone a bit
36.
too far. It'll have to be blue now. I played for the pink there. It should be okay. But if those three reds are all tied up, he's going to have to leave himself on the blue and then cannon into the two reds that are to the left of the black.
41.
And that could go wrong.
42.
Well, he's played down for the green, and if he comes off the side cushion, he could split the three reds. Key shot. He's played the same shot from the brown. Has he caught the reds? Not quite.
46.
Well, that was the reason that he played for brown instead of blue. He couldn't have even attempted to split those three reds from the blue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 46.
So O'Sullivan has to be content for the moment with a 45-point lead as he tries to level the match at 2-all.
Now, if he plays a safety shot here, he's got to be careful he doesn't push a red over the left corner. There's two reds that may be a sort of a plant. And he may have got the plant. Where's the cue ball, though?
Oh.
Well,
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
the only consolation for John is he hasn't left an easy red on, but there was also always a possibility of knocking that plant in, but he didn't anticipate going in the corner with the cue ball. Behind the yellow he'll be trying here. And this looks pretty good to me. Has he got enough pace to get there? Not quite. .49 lead, but Ronnie knows that that's far from enough, playing someone like John Higgins, and this is a big shot. He knew that would give himself a chance to get back into this frame, but he also knew if he missed it, it probably would cost him the frame.
Yes, of course, if he potted the red, the cue ball wouldn't have finished there. As it is, it's a frame clinching chance for O'Sullivan.
1. Six. 7.
Pink will be enough. So, great match. Couple of mistakes, but not many. And 2 each. Wow. Can't wait for the mid-session interval to finish.
13.
The loss of position not terrible because Higgins already needs a snooker.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 13.
John will definitely carry on. It's only 1 snooker. Okay, I'll be hoping to get a chance to get a 2 or 3 blacks or pinks. Oh, look at this. I nearly fluked the snooker. A little wry smile from John there. It's amazing. I can't believe it's 17 years since John turned professional. And I practiced with him up in Stirling at the Spencer Snooker Club. And you know, he's exactly the same lad now as he was back then. He hasn't altered one little bit. Yes. Looks-wise he has, but personality-wise he's still the same.
There was never any danger that O'Sullivan was not going to hit that red, though he was mindful that if he hit it in a certain way, he could have gone in off in the right corner.
One.
Now, all of a sudden, there's quite a bit of snooker to be played because John is far from out of this frame, I can tell you. This is quite a good chance. 8. It's only 1 snooker that's needed.
9.
And quite a few frames this week have been won from 1 or more snookers needed. Ken Doherty against Mark Selby. Mark King
16.
against Ricky Walden in the deciding frame.
17.
No, he's got to pick himself a good position to leave the cue ball in here. He can then either play in behind the black or try and get down behind the yellow. Just depends how he feels. The normal way is to try and get in behind the black because you've also got the pink and blue
24.
to help to get the snooker. This looks pretty good
24.
to me. And the middle pocket might be slightly in the way of going down the right side of the table as we look at it. You would love to play it off 2 cushions, but now if he's going to bend this and take it off the baulk cushion, if he gets too much side, he'll miss it and he could leave a free ball. Key shot coming up. There's the swerve. He's played it well. I mean, if he wanted to do, he always liked to keep the red on the table, but if it would pass the black, nothing wrong with potting the red and the black and then looking for the snooker and the yellow. Well, that should be the end.
Again, showed how tough these pots are
One
along
and
the
frame,
top rail.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
So, it's 2-all at the mid-session interval.
As quiet as possible, please, for the other